spec-driven development, because this is like a super interesting thing, right? Which is you can use AI to help create a spec, and then whether it's AI or humans building it, you've now avoided lots of wasted effort by honing into exactly what it is to be built, if I'm getting it right.
Absolutely. So, spec driven development, it's incredibly important. Anthropic is adopting it widely, Microsoft is adopting it widely. You should learn all you can about spec driven development. Here are some resources. We'll provide it in an email after this session as well. So, what is spec driven development? It really is just a very detailed explanation of what you want to build. Things like the way you typically do it is you will define the various users of your system. So let's say you have an admin, you have the main user, you have a sub user, and then you'll define what each of those users need to do on the system. Integrations you'll have, the goals of the system, a detailed explanation. This is absolute gold for actually implementing the system using agentic tools. And this is where the real value of your enterprise is going to be, is in these specs. Your code is going to be essentially worthless. And the reason it's going to be worthless is because I can take the spec and I can feed it into any of these agentic tools, and they'll be able to one shot what you want built, assuming your spec is detailed enough.
So does this
So
mean that when you are thinking about vibe coding something, you should have this sort of formula in front of you, and you essentially your prompts are going to be answering these questions?
exactly. And this spec driven development, the best way to write this is by writing it with AI. The best product managers typically are tasked with creating these documents in more traditional software engineering organizations, and founders typically create these documents, even if they're not writing the documents themselves, they're thinking about it. um, the best product manager by far that I've found is ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. They are absolutely wonderful at helping you fill in the details. You can go into a ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I want to build a CRM for dentists. What are all the or what are all the personas I need to think about?" And it'll come back to you and it'll say, "You need to think about the dental hygienist, the dentist, the owner, the receptionist, the billing company, and a master admin." Boom, now you have them, even if you didn't think about them yourself. And you could tell it, "Give me all the tasks each one of those will do," and it will give it to you. You don't, so by working with AI, you'll be able to create absolutely brilliant specs that will then make implementation almost trivial. So that's the future of how we're going to get stuff done. And that's how you can use AI to give you a superpower that you may not necessarily have.
Very clever. Okay. So, and it segues somewhat with my initial things about how I, prompt lovable, do a competitor analysis, but also how you explain what it is that you want, and maybe even give it more free form itself to come up with the right answer, rather than, as you may be talking to a junior graphic designer, make the top heading say this and make the word say that, make the word say that. So at least if it comes up with the first pass, which you may love or you may not, you may be pleasantly surprised by the things it comes up with.